If you need to design an assembly that consists of heavy welded steel, there's some features in Solid Edge that can help you a lot. The first one is the Synchronous steering wheel, which we use in the Synchronous part and sheet metal environment. In the assembly environment, it can be used to do point-to-point moves, which means that getting corners to line up is a lot easier than would be with conventional assembly relationships. Notice too that Solid Edge will recognize the move and key in an offset to any existing assembly relationships, so it doesn't get rid of them. You can also use the steering wheel to create new instances of parts. For example, if I wanted the same plate over on this side, I just hit the copy button and it's going to create a new occurrence of that part. Again, maintaining those assembly relationships, and then I can just do sort of a simple point-to-point move to line it up in the appropriate spot. Now, if I then decide that this part needs to be a different size and therefore a completely new part so as not to affect the one that we originally copied from, I can use the new replace part with copy command. I just select the part, and Solid Edge is going to build a new part with exactly the same geometry and same position in the assembly. What this means is that now if I go and modify it, and I'll do a synchronous edit here, notice my dimension comes up. It won't affect the original part that I copied from. Oftentimes in a heavy welded assembly, you're going to have material or parts of different material thickness, and you'll often see that parts will have chamfered edges to allow for allow for welds. This can complicate things when you're using sort of mate and planar align relationships. But what we can do with Solid Edge is just use a standard relationship. The part won't necessarily be in the right orientation, but again, the last step is just to position that steering wheel and just drag the part over. Again, Solid Edge will key in those offsets, and now the part is properly positioned. Another technique from that, if we grab another part of different thickness, and position it in the assembly, we've got one more tool we can use. This is a new relationship, and it's called the center plane relationship. What it basically lets you do is pick one or more faces and line them up with another set of faces so that the part remains center relative to each other. This is a really handy command because in addition to lining up planar faces, you can use it on cones, round features, even faces that aren't parallel. So for example, in this case, I'll use two conventional mates to position this rib, and then I'll switch over to a center plane, and I'll actually pick up on the center axis of this round feature you can see here, and then grab the two edges of my part, and that's been fully positioned. So using the steering wheel and the new center plane command, large welded heavy assemblies become a lot easier.